Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Bhagavad Gita Made Easy Part 2 of 3. Let's go ahead and get started.
So far, Arjuna has been struggling to digest what Krishna has been saying. The task of restraining the senses, detaching from the world and stilling the mind seems like a mountain too tall to climb. Now, Krishna turns Arjuna's attention away from the Atman to himself as the Supreme Lord of all creation.
Also, another thing, I read a comment on the first one of this, and I did not realize the Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between two people. And in that comment, there's also other Gitas apparently, and there are conversations between two other people. I did not know that. I thought it was just like a name of a book, like the Bible or like an instruction manual or something like that. But I didn't realize. Is it all Gita's conversation between two people? Well, two entities.
This creation is part of Krishna's lower nature and is made up of the 5 elements: earth, fire, water, air and space. Not only that, our minds, intellects and even our egos are part of this creation. But the jivas or souls are different. They are not material but spiritual. They are part of Krishna's higher nature. But as Krishna points out, while these two groups are part of him, they do not bind him. There is nothing superior to me, Dhananjaya. As jewels are strung on their thread, so this whole world is strung upon me. The world and souls depend on Krishna like the pearls on a thread, but he is utterly transcendent. Just like the thread is unseen and provides an order to the universe, Krishna too cannot be perceived directly, but he still provides the natural order of life. Planets orbit stars, seasons change, our body functions. There is an unseen force that makes things happen. He is the heat in fire, the intelligence of the intelligent. But this material world, or Maya, binds our souls and keeps us in ignorance. This divine Maya of mind, consisting of the 3 gunas, is difficult to go beyond, but those who surrender to me alone cross beyond this Maya. There are 3 qualities which dictate this material reality: Sattva, that of goodness; Rajas, the mode of passion; and Tamas, the mode of ignorance.
Rajas. Passion. Raja Yoga though. Unless this is a different kind of Raja. Raja Yoga meditation. Rajas, passion, gunas. Sattva, tamas, ignorance, goodness.
Everything in creation is influenced by the varying combination of these qualities. Like a man drowning in the ocean, we too are victim of this Maya made up of the gunas. But what is the way out? Krishna states that it is by surrender to him that we can be rescued and brought to freedom. But people turn to Krishna for different reasons. Some because they are in distress, others for material benefits, some to seek spiritual knowledge, and those because they know the truth of Krishna. It is this last kind of devotee that is the dearest of all. He sees beyond this Maya and realizes Vasudevaha Sarvam, that there is nothing but Krishna. But those who do not have the real intelligence or sincerity instead focus their attention on lesser deities who grant limited worldly benefits. Ignorant of the truth, they forget that even these deities gain their power and authority from Krishna. But why do people fail to see Krishna as the Supreme? I am not manifest to all because I am concealed by my Yoga Maya. This deluded world does not comprehend me, the one who is unborn and unfading. The point is that Krishna's true nature lies hidden beyond his Yoga Maya or power of illusion. To those who have not turned to him, the true glory of his divinity remains a mystery. In the next chapter, Krishna explains to Arjuna that the destination one attains after death is dependent on one's final thoughts. But the last thought at death is not in our hands, but is dictated by our state of consciousness. In other words, our final thought is a reflection of whatever we have been absorbed in. If God has been the goal of our life, then our last thought will inevitably be upon him, and we will reach his abode.
I do believe that to be true, at the very least, with especially with religious people. I'm sure they think of their families and stuff, but I think at the very last thought, probably in what they believe in.
This abode is akshara, or imperishable, and is sought after by all the yogis. This material world, on the other hand, is temporary and one of suffering. Krishna points out that a true spiritual aspirant sees that nothing in the world lasts. However much we have, death is certain, and even after death, there is no freedom. Instead, we are forced to go to the other planes of existence in the cosmos. Lord Brahma, the god of creation, resides in the highest abode in this universe. But even if we reach here, one is still compelled by karma to return birth after birth. Every time Lord Brahma awakes and sleeps, endless creative cycles occur where souls are brought out into the world and then withdrawn. Every day and night of Brahma lasts millions of years. In the process, we go through endless births and deaths. We are hopelessly caught in this cosmic drama.
Oh, that's pretty neat. So basically, every time he goes to sleep, the universe is destroyed, and every time he wakes up, it's recreated again. That idea alone, I do really like, because it is something, before even watching this, I've kind of wondered that our universe like collapsed on itself to a singularity and then explodes again. So basically the universe is being recreated, and then Sadhguru talks about 84, about the universe being, well, he says 84. He talks to that about a scientist, I can't remember who it was, that explained, I think, had a theory about universe and collapsing on itself. So that's really, really cool.
But how do we break free and attain the permanent abode of God? Yogis, following certain timings in the Vedic scriptures, attempt to do this by leaving their body in the right way and at the right time. They perform intense, vigorous practice. But the devotee who longs incessantly for Krishna doesn't bother with such practices and finds it easy to be liberated because he relies on Krishna. Chapter 9 expands further on the power of devotion. Those who are wise see the truth of Krishna and fix their minds on him with love. Some take vows, singing his praises and performing acts of worship. Others contemplate upon him with wisdom. Krishna makes clear his inconceivable nature is alive and available in the subtlest and most profound way. But because we are governed by our mind and senses, his glory is hidden. Only those who have surrendered to him can reach him. Krishna states, "Devotees of the gods go to the gods. Devotees of the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship spirits go to the spirits. But those who worship me go to me." Like in the previous chapter, Krishna makes clear that what we focus on and absorb ourselves in will decide where we reach after death. Those who are materialistic will go to the devas. Those who are attached to family will go to them. Those who indulge in occult practices will reach the spirits, but devotees who worship Krishna will go to him. When offered with a mood of devotion, I will accept a leaf, a flower, a fruit or water from one who is pure at heart.
So what does it mean by going to the family, getting reborn back to the family again in some way?
To attain Krishna, one doesn't require ostentatious offerings, extensive knowledge, or harsh austerity. All one needs is simplicity, purity, and sincerity of heart. It is love that moves Krishna to respond. Krishna calls for his devotees to make every act they perform an offering of this love. Previously, Arjuna had heard of how to perform karma yoga by trying to detach and restrain the senses. Now he hears of a karma yoga which is suffused with devotion. It is a practice filled with deep longing for God, a practice that destroys all karmic consequences. This way of devotion is so strong that it captures and transforms the heart, so much so that the worst of sinners can be transformed. As a result, Krishna urges Arjuna in his distressed condition to dedicate himself completely. Fix your mind on me, become my devotee, worship me and bow down to me. By engaging yourself in such acts and dedicating yourself to me, you will surely come to me. In whatever situation we are in, however we are, if we absorb our being in Krishna, we will reach him. To those who engage constantly in such practices, worshipping in a mood of love, I give that yoga of understanding by means of which they can come to me. In chapter 10, Krishna explains that on the bhakti path, wisdom is not gained through self-effort, it is given by Krishna as an act of grace. Those who are forever contemplating upon him are gifted with the inner spiritual knowledge of how to attain him. But even more than this, Krishna states that from within the very heart of his devotee where he resides, he will lift the lamp of blazing knowledge and destroy the darkness of ignorance. Krishna is not only the supreme person on whom the whole cosmos rests, he is the indweller within each and every living being. Having heard the truth of Krishna as the Supreme Lord, Arjuna is overcome with joy and awe, but at the same time, Arjuna is not satisfied. A taste of truth is not enough. He wishes to know more and absorb himself in hearing about the reality of who Krishna is. He wants to know how he can recognize him in this world. Krishna has already stated different ways in which he is immanent in creation, and in the next few verses he enters further into a poetic discourse describing the different ways he can be perceived. O Arjuna, of all forms of knowledge I am knowledge of the Atman, and in debaters I am the ultimate conclusion. I am death who devours everyone, I am the origin of all things yet to be. Amongst feminine virtues I am fame, good fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, endurance and forgiveness. The overriding point is that any amazing wondrous thing that exists in this world is just an infinitesimal fraction of who Krishna is. By describing his own glories, Krishna is expanding Arjuna's mind. The mind, as stated in chapter 7, is part of the material world. It is stuck in duality where everything is in accordance with natural laws. But God doesn't conform to these laws. His presence breaks all ideas of logic and philosophical understanding. Little by little, Krishna is preparing Arjuna to behold the true reality that underpins this entire physical universe. After hearing these statements, Arjuna's longing increases. There comes a point when words are not enough. As a result, Arjuna asks if he can actually see this cosmic form which has been described. Krishna replies, "But you cannot see me in this way with your own eyes, and so I give you my divine vision. Now behold my glorious yoga." Our eyes are bound by this physical world, so Krishna, as an act of grace, gives spiritual eyes which can pierce the veil of material existence. Suddenly Arjuna beholds the truly shocking cosmic form of the Lord. Blazing like 1,000 suns, he sees within it endless heads and arms, the entire universe, heavens and other abodes. He sees all the demigods and rishis of the yajna. There is no beginning, middle or end. It is infinite in nature. Arjuna sees whole worlds being destroyed by gnashing teeth. All creation and souls are present within this one form of Krishna. But instead of enjoying the sight, Arjuna is trembling with fear at this awesome scene. Within this form, Arjuna also sees his enemies who are ready for battle being swallowed up and destroyed by Krishna. Confused and overcome with emotion, Arjuna asks Krishna who he really is. Krishna replies, "I am all-powerful time that brings destruction to the world. I am here to put an end to these worlds. Even without you, none of these warriors assembled in battle will survive." Essentially, Krishna is saying, I am life itself. Existence and the very movement of existence is all Krishna. Arjuna has been worried about engaging in battle because of the consequences, but Krishna has shown that the battle is already over. His enemies have already been slain. Whether Arjuna fights or not is irrelevant. Krishna has already accomplished everything. In response, Arjuna praises him and further apologizes. Deluded by Krishna's human appearance, Arjuna failed to understand the precious nature of what was in front of him. He asked for forgiveness for any lack of respect. He pleads with Krishna to take this form away which is so overwhelming and return back to his normal person. Now that the dust has settled, Arjuna wishes to know which is superior, the worship of Krishna with devotion as described, or the path of inquiry and introspection on the formless divinity.
Bhakti Marga. Path of devotion, God is personal with form, Jnana Marga. Is Marga yoga? Just another word for it? I've also read the other comment where in Sanskrit there's many words meaning the same thing. Jnana, path of wisdom, God is impersonal and formless. Well, I'm assuming the answer would be along the lines of whatever path one seeks, whether it be through path of devotion or path of wisdom. But it's always good to have all four paths in some way.
These two paths are referred to as the Bhakti Marga and the Jnana Marga. Krishna makes clear that both paths can reach him, but the path of devotion is easy and enjoyable. The path of knowledge, on the other hand, is fraught with difficulty and troubles. Bhakti is easy because it relies on divine grace. To those who are incessantly engaged with Krishna, he is the one who saves them from the ocean of birth and death. The way of knowledge relies on self-effort and is full of obstacles and challenges. A devotee, however, progresses with ease and rises above this Maya. Krishna then describes in the following verse the qualities of such a devotee. He is equally disposed toward an enemy and a friend. He regards honour and contempt as the same. He has equal regard for heat and cold, and for joy and misery, and he has given up all attachment to the world. Fundamentally, a devotee is one who is beyond the sways of the world and equal in all situations. Such a person is dear to Krishna. Here we find, yet again, that God is not some faraway deity to be feared. He is intimate, close and loving. With the revelation of the cosmic form and the teachings on devotion complete, the Gita enters a new phase in which Krishna begins to give a close, detailed understanding of how our true nature, the physical world, and God all fit together. He brings home to Arjuna the grounding wisdom which will allow us to live a fruitful and spiritual life. Many thanks for listening.
Chapter 7, Krishna explains how all living beings and creations are within him, and how this world of Maya traps devotees. The true devotee does not worship lesser gods, but surrenders to Krishna. Chapter 8, the last thought at death determines the afterlife. We are bound by repeated birth and death over many ages. A devotee, however, breaks free by turning to Krishna. Chapter 9, an expansion of Chapter 7, the powers and ease of devotion which can transform the heart and bring Krishna near. Chapter 10, Krishna grace provides wisdom and delivers truth, the immanence of Krishna in the world. Chapter 11, a cosmic revelation. Arjuna sees the enemies destroyed. Only devotion can permit one to see this form. Chapter 12, devotion is the easier path. Krishna outlines the qualities of a devotee who is dear to him. Within him, the world of Maya traps devotees. 7 sounds very interesting. Thought of death. So does 8. Experience the power of ease, devotion which can transform the heart. I say 7 and 8 so far is very interesting because I like to understand how, well, I kind of already do, but I guess to expand upon the Maya. Again, as how I interpret Maya, I'm wondering if they can change based on the knowledge in Chapter 7. And my interpretation of Maya's misunderstanding of the world. Because again, if the world itself is Krishna, then Krishna's truth, then the world cannot be a false, because Krishna is not false. Krishna's truth, Maya's truth, Krishna's truth, the world's truth, therefore Maya's truth. It's just the Maya itself is just a misunderstanding. Cosmic revelation, Arjuna sees his enemy destroyed, only can perform. Seems fat devotion. It's qualities of the devotee who is dear to him. Okay. So again, no, I would like to. I definitely gotta. I can't remember if I got the book or not of the Bhagavad Gita. And also, again, like I answered in the beginning, are there many different Gitas, and is a Gita a conversation between, say, a god and a person? And it's kind of weird that why is then the Bhagavad Gita the more popular one? Because that's the one I keep hearing and my reactions to these videos. It seems to be the more popular one. Well, those are the questions down below if you let me know. So far that's part 2. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.